Hello and welcome back to Principles of Accounting 2. I am still your host, Dr. B. We have made it pretty much halfway through the course already, if you could believe it or not. We're currently in week 6. I know we're in week 6. How did we get to week 6 already? Wow! Man, time goes by so fast, doesn't it? What does that mean for us? We're approaching the midterm exam. Now, you'll notice in the classroom that in week 6, module 2, it's empty. There's nothing in there. Why is that? Because I wanted to use this week to talk about the midterm exam, to review the questions on the midterm exam, and to allow you plenty of time to study for the exam. Okay? Exam week for us is next week. So what this means is you can take the exam early. Yep. It's there. It's open. It's available. If you wanted to start the midterm exam today, you can do that. Okay? I want to make sure that you are very successful on this exam. So that's why we're having class today and we're talking about the midterm exam. That's all we're going to talk about. Why is that? Because everything we've talked about over the past 5 weeks, all the stuff on the midterm exam. So we started this course in week 1 with chapter 17. Week 2, chapter 18. Week 3, chapter 19. Week 4, chapter 20. Last week, chapter 21. Now here we are. So chapters 17 through 21 are on the midterm exam. So let's take a look at this exam. And feel free to ask me questions and whatever you want, okay? This is your time. This is your time. Yes, you can take it before the 26th, or yeah, absolutely. You can take it today if you wanted to, or whenever. There are no limits. However, there's only one attempt on the midterm exam. You got one shot to get this right. Just the one try, yes. Yes, Maria, just one time. But there's no timer involved here. You could if you want to. It's totally up to you, Zarya. If you want to take it today, you do that. You do you. But let me just show you the exam, okay? The exam is worth 20% of your total grade. Oh, Dr. B, what are you doing to me? 20% of my total grade. Yeah, 20%. This is a high-stakes exam. It's worth 20% of your total grade. There is only one attempt at this midterm exam. The exam consists of 20 questions, a mix of true, false, multiple choice. The exam covers chapters 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. Now, if you're doing math and you're saying, Dr. B, that's 5 chapters, and there's 20 questions. Well, for those of you who are doing a little bit of math, trying to figure out the number of questions per chapter, I'd say it's safe to say that there's probably 4 questions per chapter. You'd be right. Yeah, there's 4 questions per chapter. Chapters 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. Now, I want you to look at these questions in the midterm exam here. You'll see these questions are very straightforward. Most of them are. Question 1 says, which of the following items does not represent a difference between financial and managerial accounting? To answer that question, you would probably go back to chapter 17 and you would look at the definitions of financial and managerial accounting. Chapter 18, thereabouts, right? It's 18. Might be 17. The difference between financial and managerial accounting. There's a whole bunch of slides that we went over in that discussion. And you'd be able to figure this out. You got 5 options. And there's a slide, I remember, that discusses both financial and managerial accounting side by side. Remember this? I know it was a while ago. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Bear with me 1 second. There's 17 or 18, I forget. It is 18. Okay. So my apologies. Chapter 18. In chapter 18, there was a slide, I recall, looked at the differences between financial and managerial accounting, and here it is. So if I look at this slide and I come back to the midterm exam, I can easily figure this out. Which of the following items does not represent a difference between financial and managerial accounting? Well, all I got to do is figure out what don't fit. Very straightforward. So there's question 1 on your midterm exam from chapter 18. Question 2. Labor costs that are clearly associated with specific units of product production. Because the labor is used to convert raw materials into finished products are called, in other words, it's labor that I can directly trace the production of units. Labor that I can directly trace, clearly associated, directly trace with the units of production is called the definition, right? I hope you know this. I know you know this. It's a definition. It's one of the 3 things I said every single week for the past 5 weeks. So that's question 2. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that might also be chapter 18. Yes, of course it is. I can directly trace the production. I think we figured that one out. Question 2 is also chapter 18. Question 3. If beginning and ending work in process inventories are 5,000 and 15,000 respectively, the cost of goods manufactured is 170,000. What is the total manufacturing cost for the period? To figure this question out, we need to know the formula for finding total manufacturing cost for the period. Now, if I think about that for a second, chapter 18, and I remember there was a slide. Total manufacturing cost for the period. If I'm not mistaken. We saw that somewhere here, right? So, question 3, also chapter 18. Question 4. This is a definition question, I can tell. Factory overhead includes selling and administrative expenses because they are indirect costs of a product. It's a true or false question. When the class can tell me, are selling and administrative expenses indirect costs of a product? Got to think about this one, right? So if I go back to my chapter 18 slides, I come up a little bit. And I look at something like, let's see here. It's like my cost definitions, right? Non-manufacturing costs include selling and administrative expenses. Those are non-manufacturing costs. I believe we called them period costs, if I'm not mistaken. So, that information will help you to answer question 4. Question 5. Managerial accounting provides financial and non-financial information to an organization's managers and other internal decision makers. Yeah, it's the definition of managerial accounting. Chapter 18. Very beginning. Please make sure that you review the PowerPoint presentations and your notes and your book. Answer all of the questions in the midterm exams. That's question 5 on the midterm exam from chapter 18. Question 6. Job order costing would be used for all of the following except. Job order costing is from chapter 19. So question 6 is 19. Question 6, that's chapter 19. Come back to my notes and my PowerPoint presentation. What is job order costing? It says used for the production of large, unique, or high cost items. Build to order rather than being mass produced, and many costs can be directly traced to each of these. So, if I look at this list, I want to find one on this list in question 6 that does not fit. Conducting an audit, well, that sounds unique. Construction home, a custom home, that's unique. A Pixar movie, that's unique. Wedding invitations, definitely unique, yes. Running shoes. That sounds mass produced. That's question 6, chip 19. Question 7. At the end of the current year, Ruiz Company found that its overhead was underapplied by $2,500, and this amount was considered material. Based on this information, Ruiz should. So, underapplied overhead. Underapplied overhead, if I recall correctly, was, I believe, in this chapter somewhere. Yes. In chapter 19, underapplied overhead. So, chapter 19 will help you to answer question 7. Question 8. Copy Center pays an average of $12 per hour to employees for printing and copying jobs. It allocates $18 of overhead per employee hour worked. Direct materials are assigned to each job according to its actual cost. If job M47 used $350 of direct materials and took 20 direct labor hours to complete, what's the total cost that should be assigned to the job? Now be careful when you answer this question, because it's asking for total cost. Total cost, as you know, is direct materials plus direct labor plus factory overhead. So you need to be able to write down each of those, yeah, before you answer this. So we say direct materials, okay, $350. Direct labor, $12 per hour. It says it took 20 hours, so 12 times 20, that's your direct labor. For the overhead, it's $18 per hour, so 18 times 20 for overhead. So 12 times 20 plus 18 times 20 plus 350 will give you the total cost for this job. That's question 8, chapter 19. Question 9. Please don't get this wrong. Predetermined overhead rates are calculated before the start of the accounting period and are therefore based on estimates. You need to know the definition of a predetermined overhead rate. Determined overhead rate I know we covered it in 19. It's there, I promise you. It's in 19. Basically looking for the definition, yeah. That's going to help you answer question 9, chapter 19. Question 10. Period costs for a manufacturing company such as selling and administrative expenses, recorded directly to work in process inventory when they are incurred. Now you got to remember, when we were talking about this, I'm pretty sure that was in chapter 20, I want to say. Well, let me think about that. That was either 19 or 20. And I want to say that was in 20. So, question 10, that's going to be chapter 20. Question 11. Clarkson Company uses process costing system, chapter 20. The company requisitioned 93,000 of materials for Department A and 67,000 materials for Department D. The entry to record the use of the direct materials by these two departments is. You have to remember the debits and credits, yep. It's chapter 20, question 11. Question 12, also chapter 11. A process cost summary is a managerial accounting report that describes all the following except. Just read the question very carefully. It says all but which. In other words, except. I know it's a poorly written question. Question 12 is chapter 20. Question 13. Direct labor and indirect labor are recorded respectively to. Also chapter 20. 14. Materials consumption report is used instead of material requisitions in companies where materials move continuously through the manufacturing process. That is process costing, chapter 20. Question 15. Cost of units transferred from work in process inventory to finished goods inventory is called the cost of goods manufactured. That is a definition question. Okay. Question 15 is a definition question. And I believe that's also chapter 20, if I'm not mistaken. Question 16. Please get this right. This is also a definition question. We talked about this last week. Statistical method for identifying cost behavior is. You have to remember which method it was. Go back to the PowerPoint presentation, chapter 21, question 16. Question 17. When a company manufactures a product that sells for $50, so sale price $50, has a variable cost of $24 per unit. In other words, it costs $24 per unit to make. The fixed costs for the company are $260,000 for the year. The company can buy a new production machine that will increase its fixed costs $11,400 per year, but it will decrease its variable cost by $350 per unit. Compute the contribution margin per unit if the machine is purchased. So how do we answer this question? First, use the cost information of the machine. It increases fixed cost by $11,400. So we're going to add $260,000 plus $11,400 to get the new fixed cost per year. It also says that our variable cost will decrease by $350. So we take current variable cost of $24 minus $3.50. That'll give us our new variable cost. We find the contribution margin per unit if the machine is purchased. So your sales price minus your variable cost, your new variable cost, will help you to answer this question. This comes from chapter 21. Question 17, chapter 21. Chapter 18. Horse Company reports total contribution margin of $48,000 pre-tax income. Sorry, contribution margin of $48,000 and a pre-tax net income of $12,000 per month for the current month. What is the degree of operating leverage? This is a formula. The degree of operating leverage, we plug in the numbers. Chapter 21. Question 19. Cost volume profit chart. The graph that plots number of units produced on the horizontal axis and dollars of cost on the vertical axis. Chapter 21. That's a definition. Question 20. Under absorption costing, fixed overhead costs are excluded from the product costs. That's also chapter 21. A funny one. Questions on the midterm exam. It's 20 questions long. We just talked about every question on the midterm exam. This is the midterm exam. The midterm exam covers chapters 18, 19, 20, and 21. Nothing from 17. Just 18, 19, 20, and 21. That's 4 chapters. Okay? 20 questions long. 5, 10, 15, 20. It goes in order. Chapter 18, first 5 questions. Chapter 19, the next set of 5 questions. 20 and 21, so forth and so on. You see? Goes in order. Take your time. It is open book, open note, open PowerPoint. Okay? The cool thing with this midterm exam, it's not timed. There's no running timer. You can save and close it. So in other words, you could select whatever answers you like, save and close. You could come back to it later. You do 5 questions at a time if you wanted to. Save and close as many times as you want. But remember, once you click that submit button, that's it. Done. Okay? Once you click submit, no more opportunity. Okay? You only get one shot on the midterm exam. Only one try. So you can save and close as many times as you want, keep coming back to the midterm exam, no problem. But once you submit it, that's it. Whatever grade you submitted is what you got. The exam is worth 20% of your grade. Please take your time with this. Okay, that's a lot. Please take your time with it. If for whatever reason you're late with work, for for example, you still owe me Chapter 20 homework assignment, Chapter 21 homework assignment. You need to get those done and submit them. Okay? No more games. There's no more waiting. No more delays. Get done. If you owe it to me, you need to get it done. Otherwise, you're not going to pass the class. Real easy. By the way, you really need to do all that stuff before you take the midterm exam. Because a lot of times the questions that you saw on those homework assignments and quizzes, guess what? They're here. Also on the midterm. Maybe in just a different format or different numbers. It's here. I promise you it is. So just think about that. Maybe you want to go back and look at your answers from those questions on the homework assignments and quizzes. Just a little refresher. But again, the midterm exam, it's open today. If you want to take it today, sure, have fun with it. No problem. You can save and close as many times as you like. Once you click submit, it's done. The midterm exam, that needs to be done by the 26th of this month. So you have over a week. Got about a week and a half from today. I recommend that you do it early. Don't stress yourself out. Because some of you have other classes, and you're going to take those midterm exams during midterm exam week. But for me, I recommend you do it early. Because why not? I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. Then you get it out of the way, and then you won't have to hang out with me for a few weeks. You get to have fun. Go on your midterm week, and then you go on your spring break, and then you come back. So just think about it, okay? But remember, take this midterm exam by the 26th. Take your time with it. Study. Don't study too hard. Use the PowerPoint presentations. Use your notes from the lectures. The questions go in order. 5 questions from 4 chapters, 18, 19, 20, and 21. Be fine. But, are there any questions at all? Oh, there's no class next week, Maria. You won't see me for a few weeks, actually, because you got midterm exam week, and then you got spring break. Questions. All right, sorry. No worries. Anything at all? Now's your chance to ask. When is spring break? The week after midterm week. I don't know exactly when that is. I know it's coming up, though. I think it's at the end of this month. Beginning of next month, maybe. I don't know.
So will you remind us that we don't have class?
Yeah, no class. There's no class next week. No class next week. No class the following week. No class the week after that. Because that following week you'll have the spring break. It'll be a few weeks before you see me next. Any comments, questions, concerns? Hope you all took notes. The session has been recorded, so I'll post it to the announcements, just like I always do. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate all of you. Wish you all the best on the midterm exam. I know you'll do fine. If you need anything from me in the meantime, or if you ever want to talk to me at all over the next few weeks, I'm available. So reach out to me, email me, call me, set up office hours, whatever you need. I'm here for you all the time. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll see you in the next few weeks. Take care, y'all. All right.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor.
Very welcome. Take care. Care now. Bye-bye.